Well, I threw my back out and I just stubbed my toe. Hello, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. It's your boy Jmulls, and it's time to peruse the patch 7.4 website for Final Fantasy XIV Dawntrail. Into the Mist is the title of this patch. The main story of Dawntrail is in the rearview mirror, and now we march closer to 8.0, returning to the story cadence of old, where the point 3 patch is the conclusion of the expansion, then point 4 and point 5 serves to usher us into the next expansion. So let's don those mining helmets and get into this.
Yes, you're right.
First up, we have this section for the main story. Though sight be clouded, the spirit never wavers. Don't really know how much we can glean from that, unless this is some crazy foreshadowing for Final Fantasy VII, and we just end up meeting Cloud for some reason. I doubt that's the direction they're going. But the main story quests are called Into the Mist. The machinations of Calyx and Preservation have been thwarted, releasing Alexandria from the throes of chaos. As the nation's people begin to move forward, so too must the Warrior of Light's companions. And for Kryl, this means turning to face the question that has trailed her life a second shadow through her once foreign homeland. So, our early predictions were on the money. It does seem as if 7.4 will be centered around Kryl. As we can see in these pictures that they showed off a few of these. I noticed a new one, by the way. They showed a few of these pictures back at the live letter. It seems a party going into 7.4 will be the Warrior of Light, Kryl, Y'shtola, G'raha, and also Sphene. I'll be very interested to see how they utilize the character of Sphene moving forward. And I said before, if you're going to have a story centered around shard hopping or about the various shards, this would be the party you would construct for that story. And I know a lot of people back during the 7.0 quest were kind of disappointed because they thought the quest there were just kind of all the story that Kryl is going to get. I was always operating under the assumption that was kind of just setup. That never felt like, oh, we're going to do all of Kryl's story right here in 7.0. That just to me felt like they were setting things up for the future in a very like a Realm Reborn sort of way, because this is Square Enix's bread and butter when it comes to these long-term stories. They love having these stories be introduced very early on for them to be recontextualized or brought back into the picture later down the line. I mean, Kryl is one of my favorite characters, so I am not going to be particularly upset by this. We got some pretty cool pictures, so let's go over them. This is the very first one where we're looking up at this really cool blimp thing. I actually did a little bit of research for this image because it did seem strikingly familiar to me. I just couldn't place it. Now, a lot of people have been theorizing that the location we're going to in patch 7.4 is based on Treno from Final Fantasy IX, known as the Dark City in that game. And while I couldn't place this exact building, if you look very closely right there, you see a little statue emblem thing. And while it isn't one for one, there is something very similar in Treno from Final Fantasy IX. You can see the emblem right over there as well, at the top of the doorway. So I really do think the place we're going to will be based on Treno. They might not call it Treno. They might give it a name unique to Final Fantasy XIV, but to me, this is absolutely a location based on Treno. Then we have the sweating Lalafell holding little doodad, which is totally not either the Omnitrix or Digivice. I mean, who knows? And then we have another screenshot that I still believe to be set in Treno with two new Lalafell characters. The one from the previous screenshot, who in here is in the background over here, and also this new Lalafell in very similar looking attire, just different color. Don't think we can glean too much about what's happening here. And then we have Kryl aura farming in like the streets of Treno. So not too much to learn here. However, we do now know this story will be Kryl centric. That's no longer just theory, they just say it right here.
Yes, you're right.
Next up in patch 7.4, we have the finale of the Arcadion, the heavyweight division. With the cruiserweight division conquered, the unstoppable upstart now rises into the fearsome heights of the heavyweight tier. The threat of Cyclone Crosus ever looms, and to claim its cure, you must seize the Grand Champion's crown and make your rightful ascension. I think the Arcadion overall, not just in terms of fights, but also in terms of story, has been a particular highlight in Dawntrail. I've very much enjoyed our whole like wrestling adventures here. God, I hope they lean into the fanfare. I want an entire, like, walk-in scenario for the Warrior of Light, equipped with, like, unique theme music for us, right? Like, I want the full WrestleMania experience. It's the final tier. It's the heavyweight division. It's go big or go home. You gotta do it. It wouldn't surprise me at all, either, if they do some kind of, like, Undertaker-esque reveal with, like, the Bomber character, if he, like, comes back from the dead, just like the Undertaker, like that. If they do this right, this could be so dang fun. And then next up, we have the new dungeon, Mistwake. I actually really like the aesthetic going on here. And while, yeah, it's just another dungeon from the looks of it, as adventures past make way for journeys new, the Warrior of Light, Kryl, and their companions descend to a long-lost land shrouded in mist and mystery. I imagine this is us going to Treno, or the location based in Treno. I like how big and spacious it looks. I like how varied the environments look, especially when you look at the screenshots they showed back at the live letter. Like going from this seemingly abandoned station looking area to how beautiful and vibrant the colors look in this screenshot. Like, yeah, it is just a dungeon, right? Like, let's not blow this out of proportion. But I've actually been really liking the mechanics in the Dawntrail dungeons. It's just when we get to 8.0, if they can add some variety to the layouts, that would be sick. I'm really liking what they're actually doing with fight design going on in these dungeons. Really cool stuff. And I like how we're getting some actually unique fights. I was actually a really big fan of the 7.3 dungeon just because of that. That fight where it breaks everyone off to do a 1v1, really cool stuff. When it comes to the glamour sets here, kind of continuing the trend in all of Dawntrail where it's just like, I'm not wearing any of this, I don't particularly care. But, funnily enough, it also kind of doubles back to a previous point I made about the whole glamour situation, them lifting the restrictions. Can anyone tell me with 100% confidence what role any of these glamour sets are for? Like, there's not an ounce of role or class or job identity anywhere here. And perhaps that is, at least for these sets, somewhat based on the idea that they are lifting role restrictions. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to be wearing any of these. Maybe I could make use of some of the boots, like maybe. I just don't see myself wanting to get any of these sets, really. But we get a really cool looking trial. Funnily enough, to my knowledge, based in Final Fantasy VIII. Hell on rails, with a crack like thunder and the hellacious howl of metal, an unholy locomotive hurtles down the tracks, and only the Warrior of Light stands in its way. I cannot get over how absolutely terrified this thing looks. I know it's based on a monster from previous Final Fantasy, mainly, I believe, Final Fantasy VIII. Yeah, the Doom Train. But I love it when, in Final Fantasy XIV, they just get wacky with the ideas of fights. And look, I am still waiting for them to give us the opportunity to suplex one of these trains. I know this one's from Final Fantasy VIII, but I mean, come on, you still gotta let us suplex a train at some point in this game, right? Like, that's just mandatory. I kind of like the idea of the Doom Train just, like, staying there, standing still, doing nothing, watching us do a bunch of mechanics on this platform. It's either that or he's gonna be, like, pushing us along the tracks. I don't know, I'm looking forward to this guy and how he actually fits into the story. And also, better yet, where the heck he was hiding this entire time. And then for the Unreal trial, we have Tsukuyomi's Pain Unreal. Oh good, we get to relive the pain of this fight all over again.
Yes, you're right.
And then they give us a summation of all the stuff new to the patch. So we have the main scenario, Into the Mist, the raid dungeon, the Arcadion Heavyweight Division, variant dungeon, the Merchant's Tale, not coming till like 7.45. We get the Mistwake dungeon, the Hell on Rails trial, Tsukuyomi's Pain Unreal. We get a whole new frontline campaign. I don't particularly care about PvP, so that's whatever to me. A Cold Crescent update, where we will be getting a few new Phantom jobs. The next step for the Phantom weapons. Inconceivably further Hildebrand adventures. They should really label here what is 7.4 and what is 7.45, by the way. Because like half of this stuff is 7.45, so we're not getting it for a couple of months. We're getting a new Air Force One, the Ciel Dahlias, coming for the Gold Saucer. I'm actually kind of looking forward to this one. Air Force One was one of my favorite events. We're getting a whole host of new cosmic exploration stuff, as is usual with each patch. We're getting Raid Planner, Strategy Board. The new user interface thing, the command panel. The command panel, for those who may not remember, being this thing. Basically, you press a button and it gives you a whole array of other buttons you can put in there, like emotes, like different glamour sets, your different jobs. Instead of cluttering your hotbars with them, just throw them here. We're getting the glamour update, which is arguably the biggest thing coming in this patch, where they're lifting all the restrictions, or at least most of them, except for weapons. That's the big one. So glamour will no longer be restricted based on your class, your job, or your level. Elegant tomestones of mnemonics, that's just standard stuff. New crafting recipes, new mounts, minions, emotes, additional duty support, 2 new themes, clear green and clear white, and more! And then we get the little disclaimer, some content will be made available via patch updates at a later date. I really wish they would just label it here, because, you know, it's not like they don't know. And heck, they talked about it pretty much in the live letter, so I don't see why they can't just, like, maybe color code this, have it in different sections, something like that. But yeah, overall, I think this is going to be a very standard patch when it comes to the actual content we're getting. The variant dungeon that we'll get later down the line, I think that has a lot of potential, especially if they rectify the rewards. That was always one of the biggest weaknesses for variant dungeons and their longevity, just the overall reward structure. If they're able to touch up on that, that itself could go a long way. I'm hoping for the patch story to be a banger. I loved point 2 and I loved point 3. I hope I love point 4 just as much, even though I'm imagining point 4 is going to be somewhat more setup because they kind of said that's how it's going to be. I'm hoping the Arcadion heavyweight division tier slaps. Overall, do I think this patch will like move the needle for a lot of people? Probably not. If you already enjoy the game, I imagine you're going to continue to enjoy the game. And if you dislike the game state right now, I imagine that's probably not going to change much. Though I will say that Glamour update really is a big one. But yeah, at this point, give me that new MSQ. I need more Sphene thumbnails, yeah? I need more of them. Feed me more.
Yes, you're right.
And here's where you come in. Leave a comment down below with your thoughts, your opinions on patch 7.4 Into the Mist for Final Fantasy XIV Dawntrail. What are you looking forward to? What are you hesitant about? I'd love to hear your thoughts, hear your opinions, and hear your perspectives. And while you're down there, please leave a like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out and helps support future content, and I greatly appreciate it. And will people look favorably upon Dawntrail down the line? Are people going to warm up to it? Well, it's that time, people, and you know we have to react to your hot takes about Final Fantasy XIV. And if you want to hear me react to that one and many others, you should check out this video right here for more. Stay safe, everybody. Have a great day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Until we meet again.